Okay, I also don't have a premium, so we might have to go in and go out. I thought I got premium, but it didn't happen. So
Do you need me to leave? Wait, hold up.
no, you're good. You're good right
Okay, no,
now.
I think we're good. It's recording.
Okay, so
Yes.
let's say hi, Isaiah. Nice to meet you. Thank
Hello. It's a wonderful to actually, yeah, to meet you. This is funny.
thank you for being here today. I really appreciate that. Of
Thank you for having me.
course. How are you today? I know we just asked, but how are
No,
you?
yeah. It's a gloomy day, but I'd say I'm in relatively high spirits today. Could be worse for sure.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I got a decent amount done personally, so
Mhm.
can't can't,
Okay,
can't knock
cool.
that.
We're gonna start with the breathing exercise
Ooh, I love
as
that.
a way to kind of just yeah. It's
Mm,
gonna be supposed to be so we can get to know each other a little bit more
mm.
on like a vibe way.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
absolutely.
we're gonna have you tried box breathing before?
I have, yes.
It's like the five in, five hold, five out.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do that for a couple times, maybe like five times, so we can
Mm.
start. I'm gonna count and then I'm a hold, but I'm not gonna count the five because I can't count or
Yeah,
can't hold
yeah,
it.
that's fair.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Get in a good position, get relaxed.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna start. And then inhale. One, two, three, four, five. Hold. Out. One, two, three, four, five. Hold. In. One, two, three, four, five. Hold. Out. One, two, three, four, five. Hold. In. One, two, three, four, five. Hold. Out. One, two, three, four, five. Hold. This is going to be our last one. Inhale. One, two, three, four, five. Hold. Exhale. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, we're done.
Amazing.
How was that for
You
you?
you have a career possibility in ASMR. I will tell you that. You have a very soothing voice.
Thank you.
Yes,
We'll take
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. As a way to get into the interview, I'm gonna do like a bit of a word association thing.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm just gonna give you words, a
Mhm.
one word, and you're gonna give me one word back for a couple
Okay.
times.
Sure.
Okay? When I say calm, what do you say?
Comfort.
Okay. When I say curiosity, what do you say?
Inspiration.
When I say insanity, what do you say?
Oh, I know it's supposed to be like a beat, and you
You're
but
good, you can
like
take your time.
yeah. Subjective.
Subjective. I like that one. When I say government, what do you say?
Restrictive.
Okay. When I say community, what do you say?
Everywhere.
Mm. When I say happiness, what do you say?
Shared.
I like those. So I want to do that exercise so that I feel like personally with everything going on in the news and just the world and everyday life,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm like right, like there's something always right under the surface for me. Like I might try to keep it cool, but there's that insanity or that anger or even that happiness that I don't really know how to express.
Mhm.
Is there anything that keeps coming up to you when in your everyday, just kind of coping with how things are going, or just the general everyday as a human being going through all of this?
Yeah. I mean, the thing that's been plaguing me lately is just how this current like slog that you gotta like get through on a daily basis, specifically localized to this country. and like how every, you know, negative facet of our sort of like society that we are within currently just seems to be not just, the result of natural trends and shifting dynamics and, following generations. It is very much, it feels manufactured. It feels like it is intentional that you feel this way.
Mm.
It is by design. Um, it is, you know, the intended result of a long standing plan and actions that have been taken by who knows who over who knows how long. But now we're here, and it seems as though this is like there is a very small subsect of people that are like, we got them right where we want them.
Hmm.
And it really does bleed into like every facet of society, every facet of our society specifically, because I'm only speaking on the American sort of perspective. Um, and I just, the news cycle has been moving more like a turbine engine than a cycle. It's moving super fast. Everything is within the headlines for like half a second. You blink, you miss it. And it's all negative, which is
Yeah.
just so, I don't know. I don't know. And then I feel like I've been noticing a lot of like, I try to like, read the subtext and connect things. And I try to stay on top of stuff, which is a full job in and of itself at this point. Um, Being a reporter is less of a job than actually monitoring and receiving the news. It feels like, um, but yeah, I don't know. I've been personally, I've actually been doing a lot of like self development, and I feel as though I am in a better place than I have been in a number of years, which is a weird juxtaposition to be holding within myself. But it definitely feels as though it's like one of the things where you become like more self-sufficient, you become more like reliant on your own intuition and your own regulatory abilities, and like being able to actually function as a human being in this world. And it feels as though that is like in spite of everything that surrounds you, rather than being like a sort of like milestone that gets like celebrated by the general, you know by society at large, because it's like, oh yeah, another functioning adult that can contribute to like the social structure. It's like, oh, you're getting better. Fuck. Like that's like how it feels, at least. Which is like weird, obviously. Um, but I don't know. I had like a very rude awakening. Like I've never really been at home in this country, even though I was born here. Just because I feel as though like the trending social ethos and such doesn't really align with how I like to conduct myself.
Hmm.
Um, and morality and empathy are like tenets that are not really enshrined within the way that our country at large seems to consider things, which is very antithetical to the way that I like to conduct myself. So I've never really felt at home here, and then I had like a pretty significant life change like 5 years ago at this point, um, which sort of like opened my eyes even more so to the reality of this country and the way that it like functions. Um, so this is like sort of felt like just like a more blatant display of what I already knew to be true. And when I say this, I just mean like what's been going on. So it's not as much of like a shock factor as much as it is like it sucks because it's like almost like vindicating, because like I felt this way for a long time and I believed this to be true, and now I'm like seeing like broad like you know broadly across the board like people in like high level governments being like, yeah, I know you were right. Like we're actually evil. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, good to
It's
know, thanks.
interesting what you say like about um structure and like also individual growth because I've been going through the same thing. Like I have been deep in therapy for the past like maybe like a year and 2 months or something. And I've like been
With the same therapist?
diagnosed. What?
With the same therapist?
Yeah, with the same therapist. I've
That's
been like in and out
that's
of
good.
therapy for a couple
Yeah,
years, but like
yeah,
this is the first time I've actually dedicated myself and like
yeah.
really
It's
been
awesome.
strict and like actually care.
Mm,
And like it feels really weird to have that personal development and like kind of that guilt
mm,
and being like, oh, I know that I am waking up every day and showing up as a different person, or like a person who's like growing, but the way that the world is growing and like the structures of the world, it sometimes feel like it's going against, or
mm.
it's like a collision happening that
Exactly.
when I grow this way, then the world is kind of sucking me back in or
Hmm.
morphing me in different ways.
Hmm.
Do you feel that like in your personal growth, that kind of juxtaposition?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm a very visual person, and I can't visualize things in my head, so I like to describe them. But like the way that like sort of resonates with me is like, you'll see those like plants where they get like trapped in a tube, and it sort of forces them to go a specific direction, even though
Hmm.
that wouldn't necessarily be the typical direction that they would grow. Sometimes even like out, away from the sun, but they still grow regardless. And then you'll see like a crack in like the tubing or whatever the case may be, and then it goes in its intended direction, in the way that it wanted to. And that's the sort of like way that I feel, where it's like a very like a constrictive force around me. And I'm getting out there, and I'm still getting like the sunlight that I want, and I'm still getting the progression that I want and like desire. But it's just like it feels as though I'm like sort of like strapped into this track that I don't really want to be on. Um, and I'm finding my own ways of like resisting that, um, and not sort of subscribing to
Yeah.
that sort of mentality, because like um, yeah, it's very toxic and it is pervasive and it's sort of in every aspect of our sort of society. But like it really becomes like a detriment when you like internalize it, and that's something that I'm trying to like fight against. Like I don't want to be in the rat race.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of like things that I've been trying to like reject. Like,
Yeah. I'm curious to know what you do and like what's your life looking like. I feel like we jumped really
yeah, no,
fast
yeah,
into
yeah,
whatever, but yeah, what is your age? What is
yeah. Um,
pronouns, job if you want to share that.
Absolutely. So I just turned 27 last month. I had my birthday on the 18th. Capricorns go
I'm
up.
a Capricorn too. I'm on the 6th.
What? Oh wait, okay, wait. Next year, you gotta be folded in, because I have a bunch of my friends. We all have our birthdays in January, so we
Aw,
celebrate all month.
nice.
So you're gonna get pulled into that. But yeah, no, it's great. Like I'm not normally a birthday person. Historically, it's usually like you know, I don't know. I've been getting out of my sort of self pity era, which is something that is very great. I'm very happy about that. But like for many years, it was always something that I would get like sad about.
Hmm.
And I usually around my birthday time would celebrate my mom, just because that felt right to me. And that was like I liked having the attention on someone else. And then when she passed, it was like, what do I do now? So I just sort of went back to like wallowing for a while. And then this year we celebrated each other all month, and it was like a amazing sort of ability to just like anytime that sort of inkling of like, ooh, it's the birthday season, I could just like focus on my friends and just like
Yeah.
be there for them, make sure that they feel appreciated, make sure they feel celebrated, and that was like exactly what I needed.
Hmm.
So I really love that. But yes, birthday in January, 27. Pronouns he him, he they. I don't really care. Anything.
Yeah.
You can call me she girl, whatever. I don't care. I really, it's very nebulous identity sort of situation going on over here.
Hmm.
Sue me. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Um, my job, I am a floral designer. That is my current gig. I work at a company, an event company, this black owned company in West, and we do events. And I did some this weekend. We did like a church thing for this like church, and then I did like this like Nigerian baby shower.
Ooh.
Those niggas are funny. Uh, they're they're going crazy. I was like, girl, she's not even here yet. But it was fun. It was a good time. I love doing florals. I've been doing that for like the better part of almost 6 years at this point. Very,
Mm.
very enriching, very rewarding.
What got
Um,
you into that?
I Philly, just being in Philly. I grew up in a very like rural area, and I've always like liked nature, and I did
Hmm.
like farming and stuff when I was a kid. But I graduated during the pandemic, and my mom had just passed, and I was like, I can't go home. I don't know where to go. And thankfully, my roommate at the time, well, my current roommate, was like, I'm moving to Philly. I was like, all right, I'll come with you. So I moved to Philly, and then I had a friend who was like, I have a friend who works at this flower shop. You want a job? It'd probably be easy to get. And I was like, sure. And I got a job at Reading Terminal Market at Market Blooms. Shout out. Actually, no, that
Nice.
place is. Um, and then I just sort of fell in love with it. I progressed from there, became the manager at that shop, and then like started doing my own thing. Got a bunch of other floral jobs, got a bunch of experience, built a portfolio, and now I'm doing it. I freelance. I do my own. I do florals for like most of the shops in Philly I've worked with. Yeah, I
Nice.
love it. It is so rewarding. It's absolutely nothing related to what I went to school for, um, but I really really do love it. It's very rare. I feel like in this day and age that people have a job that they feel fulfilled by, and I do. So I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. It is
Mm.
hard. It's hard to build a career and not, you know.
Tell me about it. I mean, that's the thing. Like this is like the kind of job cycle that I'm working in, like in this field that I'm working in. Like unless we have like a major overhaul of the way that this country, views careers and jobs in general, this is not the type of job that I'm ever gonna like be successful by their standards. But like my standard of success is much, the bar is much lower. As long as I can take care of my needs and take care of the people that I feel as though are within my responsibility. I'm not like I've never been a person that like has desires to be rich in any shape of the world, shape of the word. I've never been rich. I've never had access to wealth, and it's just not something that I really desire. I don't feel deprived in that regard. Obviously, like I feel deprived to some extent because it like life would have been easier,
Yeah.
but I don't think I would have the level of I don't know, care
Yeah.
that I do currently. I care a lot about people around me. I care a lot about the environment that I'm in. I care a lot about the communities that I'm living within. I just care a lot, and I feel as though like the more that you build that level of wealth, it sort of like elevates you to the point where you can't help but look down on people,
Hmm.
and that sort of dilutes any sort of level of empathy that you might be able to muster. So
Yeah, part of what made me interested in making this was like seeing how people like what their imagination is and how they've been using their imagination to basically help themselves through this, how to maintain hope, how to maintain just like joy. And I was one of the questions I had was what is like what you care about the most? And you kind of explained a bit of that. How does what are some things you care about the most, just to clarify, and how do you use those things to like develop what you want in a better world? Like for me, my biggest thing is my family, and I have bunch of siblings and parents and everyone, and I have cousins. Like we kind of all live in the same house, and we I have been always living with a big family.
sweet.
So like having that community is just kind of built in when there's so many
Yeah.
of you. So that's like something that I always want to have. Like, I like generational houses. I like people being like together in small communities and just being able to walking distance and stuff. And that's a way that I like one of the ways that I think about what my better world would look like.
Oh wow. That is a great question, and I love the lead up to that. Thank you for sharing that. Um, that's so funny. Yeah, I care a lot about family as well. But my experience and my understanding of like what family entails is very different from what you've described. Because like I grew up with a very small family.
Mm.
It was me, my mom, and my younger sister, basically my entire life. I have an older sister. She's my half sister. So I mean, we're close now, but we weren't really close when I was growing up. And it's like a 14-year age gap. So like,
I have
she
the
was,
same thing. Yeah, I
yeah,
have
she
a
was out of the house by the time I was like able to understand anything. Um, and then, yeah, so it was just me, my mom, and my sister. So we were incredibly close. Um, are, we, family was everything. And it's, it still is. It's just the sort of landscape of that has changed with the passing of my mom. So like when I think of like family, I now like now, like 5 years out, I the first thing that comes to mind are like my friends, and like the sort of family that I've built for myself because like I don't really have a place to return to. I don't really have like a home necessarily. My home is where I live. I guess home is where the heart is, and my heart is here, with me. So I really do try to like I don't know, just display that level of appreciation that I have for the people in my life that have like given me the ability to feel as though I have a semblance of a family. Like have like that sort of structure, have that sort of like people that care about me and I care about them, and I can rely on them and they can rely on me. Because that's something like a year out, 3 months out, I didn't think that was something I would ever be able to have ever again. Um, so I'm just like profoundly grateful, and I try to make sure that gratitude is expressed outwardly, and vocally when possible. And yeah, that my sort of view for a greater life, things that like really bring me joy. I'm sorry, I just wanted to go on that tangent because I saw
no,
like
you're good.
sort of things that really bring me joy are making things,
Mm.
creating. I'm an illustrator. I like to draw. I like to paint. I love to make things, sculpt, whatever the case may be. I've always had like a sort of eye for picking up new mediums and just making things. I'm a very representational artist, so I tend to be inspired by what I see. Um, so the way that I've been trying to sort of like bring that into the like broader scope of my life is like when I'm creating, I'm very intentional with what I'm making. My lines, my mark making, placing down specific colors, composition, of the flow and the movement of my like piece and how I want like people to feel when I'm making them, or when they view them if I show them. So I try to take that sort of intentionality and that sort of like care for my creations, in like imply it on a broader scale to the rest of my life because like I am creating my life story and I have a level of care for most things that I create. So why would I not apply that to this? So I try to be rather intentional about the things that I do when they are impacting other people. I can be a little bit haphazard with my own self, from time to time because like I'm not going to hold myself like gun to head, like be intentional. Like that's not. But yeah, I try to like ensure that people feel it. Like I want people to understand that like I'm present. I want to like be within this moment, and I want to be able to like like any moment can be like a long term memory if you like have that level of like intentionality where you're like stepping into it and being fully present in that moment and engaging with the people that are around you and not sort of like head down phone on situation, which sounds so boomery, but it's just where I'm at. So yeah, just I'd say like generally creation and intention are the two things that I'm trying to like the thing that really brings me joy is creation, and the thing that I'm trying to like take from that and apply on a broader scale and to like have a better sort of society is just like being intentional with my actions and being present because I feel like there's so many different aspects of our society that want us to like not be in that moment and
Hmm.
not connect with the people that are in front of us and not establish a like a deeper bond than just like, hey, let me follow you, I'll never message you, I'll never talk to you, and I'll look at your story for the rest of my life. Like,
Exactly that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I like what you said. I thought that was really interesting because I feel like I struggle with that. Like, I have bad anxiety, and I feel like I struggle with staying in the present a lot. But I wanted to ask you, since creation is a big thing, I also love reading. I love interviewing and making films myself.
Mhm.
Um, what do you, how do you want to use those things? And what do you view like in a better world? Like for me, with reading and writing, I really want uh, myself to be able to use language and like how that can create community and create understanding and meaning. One of the questions I think is might be a better question is like what do you think has to change about you in order to make that world possible? Like I was
Mhm.
saying, I have bad social anxiety, and something I have to know is that I have to like be better at talking to people and feel more comfortable or like put myself out there more if I care about community
Yeah,
development.
absolutely. Yeah, I'd say my biggest hang up would probably be like, and I don't know if this is an issue with myself, but like finding out how to take a personal ethos, a personal like decision, and reinterpret it in a way that other people feel as though that they could apply it to their own life. Because I work a lot within like the way that I understand things and from my own perspective, which is limited because it is my own. And I mean, it makes sense that I would do that because this is the only perspective I've ever had. But if I want it to be something that could be applied at a grander scale, at a community, society, countrywide sort of scale, I need to be able to articulate it in a way that other people feel as though they can enter into that sort of like mindset, without major obstruction, changes to their daily life. Because, people don't like change generally, I find. So when you're like, oh, just like, just reinvent the way that you think about the world, it's like, oh yeah, I'll fucking do that, sure. Like no one's gonna do that. So like finding the words to be able to make it so not only is it like understandable, but it's also like appealing. And that like there are tangible benefits to like, viewing things like this. Because, people I see like I've seen this one meme where people, or like not even a meme, but I've seen like people on Twitter, and it's like a common viral tweet, which is probably by bots at this point, but like they'll be like, there's actually no benefit to being a good person, which is like, I can't imagine like looking at life like that, but like there are a lot of people that think like that, that are like,
Yeah.
okay, well, what is the benefit to me doing this? Is like, so, I don't like that mindset. I don't think that people should, inhabit that mindset, but also who am I to tell them how to live their lives? So I need to find a way to articulate it that works within that sort of headspace, which is hard because it's one that I don't occupy myself. Um, so I guess being more, being better at um, understanding people's uh, perspectives, even if they are not ones that I personally can inhabit myself, would probably be my biggest hangup. Just because I just don't know where to even start with that. Like I found a lot of success with this like mindset that I like hold, and I want to like share it with other people and see if maybe they might be able to like gain something, glean something from it, and like expand upon it. Because when you share something with someone, they could through their own perspective, which you obviously have not inhabited yourselves, they might have insights that you never would have been able to come to yourself. And then from there, that's the major benefit of like sharing with the community, is that you have a varying like degree of perspectives, and everybody can sort of like coalesce and come together and create something that is bigger than the sum of their parts. um so yeah, just like being able to be like, I hear what you're saying, and let me adjust this in a way that I think you would better understand it, or would be more like palatable to you. Because like when people like, when people are like very, I don't even know what the word for that sort of mindset is, where it's just like, how do I get mine out of this? It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin with that, because it's just like, all right, dude, like you might be a lost cause, which is like, I don't like that level of thinking, but like that's where I'm at. So sometimes where I like see these people say these things, and I'm like, I don't know if there's a way for anyone to help you because that's a crazy way to like live your
Yeah.
life. Being like, there's no tangible benefit to being nice. What are you even talking about? I don't even know what to say. Like, okay, like, sure. So
Mhm.
that's like where I'm at right now, trying to figure out a way to like be more receptive and be better at articulating why you should do something. That
Yeah.
is if I want to go down this like life coach sort of path, which I don't, but I just like I found success with this, so I want to share it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Another little game I was gonna do, or not really
mm,
game, but
yeah, yeah.
um it was gonna be a replacement quiz.
Okay.
So it was gonna be like, what do you want to pl replace blank with?
Oh,
So I was gonna do like, what do you want to replace with like headphones or something? You want to do something else, like you like speakers instead.
okay,
You know what
okay,
I'm
okay.
saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So we're gonna do a couple.
yeah.
Um, I want to replace capitalism with what?
Mm. Socialism.
Okay.
Sorry,
Pretty
sorry, y'all. I like. I'm sorry, y'all. I like being social. I like caring for others.
pretty straight to the point. I would like to replace social media with
Mm. Third spaces.
okay, nice, nice. Um, I would like to replace Trump with
A fucking smoldering pile of ash. I want that new drone strike today. Today, right now, today. Kill him today.
I
Sorry.
would
Wait, don't go.
like
Oh, Masad got me. They got me on recording.
no, I honestly I was really excited to see what people would say for
No,
the Trump part
I want this dude obliterated
because it's
now.
like the only real option is like anything else,
I mean,
but
yeah, like, yeah, I mean, literally anything would be better than this dude at this point. But like, no, I want him dead. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Like, he needs
I
to die
understand.
today. I know he's not long for this earth already because he's like older than dirt, but like,
Yeah,
what's one day early? Why, you know?
right. If we had Twitter still, that would be a great day.
Girl, girl. I mean,
But
I'm okay. My ass actually one of my worst vices is that I still use that app.
oh
X.
God.
I don't call it that. It's still Twitter to me. But it's just a very good source for news
Yeah.
because like
I
there still
personally
be
deleted it,
I
but
I I I am so glad you did because like it is not. I don't know. I use it for like I have a bunch of journalists and stuff that I've followed from like all different kinds of sectors for many years now. So like I generally trust the output that they be given, and they do it really fast because they're all like independent or like smaller cycle sort of style journalists. And then I also there's a lot of amazing illustrators on
mm,
Twitter, illustrators and animators, and I follow them, and they post. A lot of them are like foreign, so they like only post on Twitter.
yeah.
I haven't been able to find them on other platforms, and I love just browsing all of their work and getting inspired. So take me
All right.
away, officer. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll do I will replace Twitter with
Oof. Mm, replacing Twitter. I would replace it with like a actual functioning like media,
yeah.
like like journalistic integrity would be nice in this country. So that way I didn't have to rely on like regular dudes. It would be nice if I could like go to the news station and get like
Yeah,
news. That'd be
legitimately.
amazing. That'd be awesome. I would love that. But
Yeah.
no, you go on the news station. It's like, oh, did you know that you should donate today to the Israeli like foundation? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, please. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, I feel the same way where I'm like I don't want to be on social media and that's why I asked like replace social media with what
Mm.
because that's like news for me. I'm not on Twitter or TikTok,
Nah, I'm not on TikTok.
but
I never downloaded that.
yeah, that's the way people react when I bring up TikTok. I feel like it's like a trauma response for all of
Oh,
us.
really? That's crazy. Yeah, the thing is, I never downloaded TikTok in the first place.
Really? You've never been on TikTok?
Never. Like no, okay, wait. Did I? No, I downloaded it once because my friends kept sending me links to TikToks,
Yeah.
and then
You
but I
can't
couldn't
open the
open them.
app.
I couldn't
Yeah.
open them, and they were like, "Oh, this is so funny." I was like, "All right, let me check it out." I opened one and it was like not funny, so I was like, "All right, well, this is not worth my time." And that was might have been an indictment on my friend more so than TikTok as a platform,
Mm,
but I was like, "Yeah, this is not. I don't need this." And at the time. Instagram Reels was fucking me up.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
They were digging in me. My screen time was terrible, so I was like, I don't need two. I don't need two of the same thing. I'm good. And
Mhm.
thankfully, I've weaned off of Instagram Reels. God, Jesus. But yeah, I never got into TikTok. So when I saw recently, they were like, "Oh, TikTok got acquired by Larry Ellison." I was like, "God help him.
Yeah, it's extra dead, like
God
RIP.
help him. Lord, please."
Um, okay, I was gonna do another different question.
Yeah.
It was gonna be like transition from replacement to post. How are we gonna do like a world post-Trump, post-ICE? What do
Mm,
you think that's gonna look like? And we could do what we think it's gonna look like, and also what do you want it to look like? So post-ICE, what do you think the world's gonna look like?
mm. I mean, ideally, I would love to operate in a society that sort of, doesn't crush the soul of people and have people in like horrible like desperation where, they can be then like photographed and videographed in their like desperation and then used as fuel to like fuel this like xenophobic sort of sentiment that is like very pervasive amongst us, a large demographic of this country. Um, I would love to, not have to worry about borders in general. Like I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck where people come from. I'm being so dead ass. I've talked to people who are older than me, and they will genuinely, like, legitimately be like, "Oh man," but like you don't know where they're coming from. And I'm used to like talking to people in my age group, so I'll be like, "Haha, very funny," and they're like, "No, like, what if they're from Cuba?" I'm like, "Fucking end."
Right?
I don't care. Like,
It's insane.
that's
It's
cool. Like,
insane.
that's
This,
cool. Like that's like oh whoa, what's it like over there? I can't. There are so many bad people, bad bad, like genuinely like evil, like people who want to like hurt others that live within America that were born here and have never left. I don't think we need to be worrying about fucking people from another country. Like it's just not like it's nice, sure, to be like who's coming in. But like if our country wasn't like destabilizing every other country on earth and like actively contributing to like the detriment and like degrading of like humanity as a whole, I don't think we would have to worry about a bunch of people coming in and trying to kill us.
exactly. Or
I mean,
the fentanyl or
these things that are
whatever.
coming into this country that have ill intent, they don't got it against me. So don't be a warmonger. Don't be like a horrific like global entity that is like extending hands in everybody else's business, and maybe we would be able to have like an equitable society where people can come and we can infer the best of people rather than expecting the worst. Which is such a long-winded answer. I'm so sorry.
Good.
Yes, post ICE, I would like to see the sort of dissolution of borders. That would be ideal for me.
Yeah. That I resonate with that so much. It is kind of I think about it all the time because I'm like, I didn't do literally anything to
Nothing,
be an
nothing.
American citizen. And for that to be enough for me to have privilege over people or for me to have a right to
Crazy.
be here
It's crazy.
is way different. So yeah, I feel really frustrated by that constantly. And I feel like we've all met immigrants, we've all had immigrant classmates or
Yeah.
coworkers or friends or families. Literally, you could be an immigrant and it's just like I literally cannot comprehend that being enough. The fact that they're not from this country, that's enough for them to be seen as that,
I like
as a
that
criminal.
literally matters to me negative amounts. I don't get like I'm being so dead ass when I say like it is honestly way cooler to me for someone to be an immigrant. Like I'm like, oh whoa, that's so nice. Like, what was it like? Like, oh wow, you're not like an American. That's actually amazing. I'm so happy for
Right.
you. Like, like I cannot, and that that cycles back to like my wanting to be more understanding, which is like it is a tough sort of duality because like I want to be able to like talk to people, but I don't want to have debates with people who don't have good faith arguments. Like if they're like, oh, they're an illegal. Like I don't know, dude. Like not to be harsh, but like you might just gotta kill yourself because I got nothing to say to that. Like, like okay, like I guess you're just not like all right, whatever. Like I'm not like I want to be more understanding, but like that's not something that I feel is there's any value in understanding. Like I would love to get to the root of like why a person feels like this, but I really do feel at the end, like at the end of the tunnel, it's gonna be like, oh, you just bought into everything you were told,
Yeah.
and
And
that okay,
that's what sucks because like I feel like as someone who I feel like I'm very empathetic. But like it's gotten to the point where I'm like, some people are just fucking stupid, and I
yeah,
can't.
it's really just
It's
beyond me.
insane
I
because
don't know.
I've tried every like time being like, there's a root reason, there's a reason why people act like this. You know, there's that everyone's a human at the end of the day, but it's like sometimes you guys aren't even trying to make fucking sense. Like,
Like it's just
I
like
I saw this. Did you see that Billie Eilish said that thing at the Grammys
well,
and how she was.
yeah, she said something about like no one's illegal on stolen land, and then I saw a bunch of like takes people being like, I should break into her house,
Literally,
and
people
all
was
that. I was
like,
like,
oh, but she has a million dollar mansion on this stolen land. Da, da, da. And I was like, what does that like? I feel like there is a truth of being like
no
critiquing,
correlation.
like
No
there's
correlation. Like even from like the highest level, because she said no body is illegal on stolen land. Not nothing is illegal on stolen land.
yeah,
Like you cannot break into anyone's house anywhere. Sorry, that you just can't do that. That's illegal. Like it doesn't matter if you're on stolen land or not. Like don't break into someone's house and then assault them, which is what they were saying they were gonna do. Like I'm gonna break into Billie Eilish's house and rough her. It's like you're weird. You're
yeah.
very weird. Like I
It's
don't know
like
why your
things
mind
like
would go there.
that. It's things like that where I'm like, I just actually in disbelief that that is what we're working with, and
There's
that or
nothing
that
to
it's
say to that other than just like, okay, you're profoundly strange. I don't know. I like okay. I
okay, I guess.
like no, like literally, I've had that reaction to so many takes that I've seen, like, which is why I try to like not look at like takes and
Yeah,
discourse. I'm not like I don't participate. I'm not a commenter. I'm not like an engager in like sort of discourse in any regard. Like I'll kiki with my friends and be like, "Do you see this?" And I'll share my thoughts like in real life, but I'm not gonna comment on anything because one, who knows if that's even posted by a real person in this day and age, which is crazy to say, but like that's where we're at right now. Um,
literally.
and what do I look like getting the fucking rage baited by a Samsung Galaxy S2 in someone's bot farm? Like I don't need that. I'm good. Like I don't need Android getting my cortisol spiking. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
Um, so I try not to like participate in that sort of stuff, but it also like it helps that like you see it and it's like, oh well, that is just like very obviously a bad faith take. There's nothing really to argue about that because it's just sort of like, I mean, if that's the way you think, sure, I guess. Like I don't
Yeah.
have anything to say to that. You're just like very strange.
Yeah, I feel like it feels mind-numbing sometimes, but I'm curious to see like what you do if you see that bullshit, you see how people are acting stupid, you see like how people are acting irrational or whatever, whatever. For me, like a thing that I try to do is like I write poetry, I like create things, da, 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 but I'm like that sometimes that doesn't feel like enough or that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
feel like cherishing or like I can't cherish it as much because it's like it's so much bullshit and
Yeah,
it's hard to fight back with like pretty words or like,
yeah,
whatever,
exactly.
whatever.
I mean,
So,
especially when you know the people that you're fighting against are like the kinds of people that would look at poetry and be like,
exactly.
that's stupid." So it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
well, fuck you, I guess. Like I don't know. But yeah, I like fighting back. Like I don't know. It's difficult because like it is like a hard juxtaposition to have because like I want this sort of mindset and this sort of like space or like sort of like way of thinking that these people are occupied to be abolished. Like you should not be like this is like a very hyper individualistic society and it the what I've noticed generationally trend wise is that like boomers definitely have like the very much like fuck you I got mine mindset, and then millennials at large from my perspective have a mindset of like well I suffered so you should too,
Hmm.
which is like okay this is I can see a generational curse starting to form and I don't want
Yeah.
to be a part of that.
Hmm.
Like I like I've seen like one of the classic takes that you see is like millennial type of people being like, well, I paid off my student loan, so why should they get like taken away? Because like it's not fair that I had to pay it and everybody else does it. It's like, why do you want everyone to go through the misery that you endured? That
And
is
that's so common.
that is such a backwards, regressive, frankly stupid way of looking at the world. It's just like I had it bad, so like, and these are the people who are like becoming parents, and it's like people who parent like that, being like, I got it out the mud, toughen up, little nigga. Like I'm gonna hit you because my dad hit me. Like you're gonna raise an abuser. You're gonna raise someone who's deeply insecure. You're gonna raise someone who does not have the like emotional like the tools of like able to like process their emotions in a healthy way. They're gonna yell at children. They're gonna lash out at people around them. They're gonna be like a detriment to any workspace that they're in because they're unable to like regulate themselves and like function under pressure. That like you're poisoning the well of society. That's insane that people like don't look at this sort of like thinking and like apply it at a grander scale and try and like it into take it at face value and be like, okay, well, how would this go beyond this current moment that I'm applying this mindset to? Like, I don't know. When I say that I'm an intentional person, like I think about the way what I am doing in that present moment will have ripple effects. Um, not in every situation because that would be insane. And I don't have like a computer brain where I can process things like a million times a moment. But like I try generally to be like, okay, well, is this like what I'm saying right now? Is this something that I'm internalizing? Is this something that I'm like, sort of like just not just saying, but also like starting to like, encode into the way that I function in the world? Because like growing up, my mom would always tell me, life and death is in the power of the tongue. That was like her. She would say that all the time, all the time. She would say it to me all the time and like try and like really harp on me about being like specific about what I say and how I said it. And I know like, growing up, it was annoying to me. I was like, shut up, mom. Cause I was a kid. And I know like, now that I have the benefit of like retrospect, and hindsight's 2020 and all that regard, I recognize that she was saying that for my own benefit. Because I grew up, like a rather depressed child. Um, I had a lot of trouble with like depression and just like being generally self admonishing. So she like her way of combating that was just telling me like, don't say that you're stupid. Don't say that you feel dumb. Don't say that you're ugly. Don't say that you because like you're gonna internalize it and it's gonna become your reality. Um, and she didn't like articulate it in that way. This is the way that I've sort of like received it as I've grown up and like reflected on it and ruminated with it for an extended period of time. But I that's the way that I try to like hold things, and think about them because like I don't like just saying stuff for the sake of saying it. In a comedy situation, like my general like when I'm being humorous with people, like it very much is just like saying whatever comes to mind. And just like riffing and just like going really quick. But like when I'm being intentional in the moment and like actually trying to like say things that I feel are like from within, I really do try to like look beyond this like present moment that I'm in. So like it's being present in the current moment while also looking beyond and trying to like imagine the uh the impact of your words. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just be saying things, um, just for the sake of. And I mean, you could say the same thing about me because like earlier I was like that guy should kill himself. I, I don't want to say I don't believe that, but like someone could easily be like, think about what his kids would feel like, and yeah, it's true. Like I wouldn't want their child to go through life without a dad, but if their dad's like that, maybe they'd be better off. I don't know. It's just like there is a sort of like level of like practice what you preach that I haven't like fully reached. Like my mom was like very much. She did not say anything she did not mean. Everything was like very much like from the heart, and that's like sort of like what I aspire to reach at a certain point. But she also like had the benefit of like being in a society where being like abrasive to these people who are like not just like anti your beliefs, but like anti your life. Like sometimes you just can't like mince words with these people, like in my mind. Like so, it's like I'm trying to like adapt it for the current age that I'm living in. Where like sometimes you really just gotta tell these niggas to shut up and die because like they want you to die. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah.
But you said a lot of things that I was like, I have a couple last questions I
Yeah.
feel like you talked about
Okay.
basically in
Yeah. Yeah.
that. Um, but I have like three last questions.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, what is something you want to tell your future self?
Mm. See, this is like it's fun because like I do this sort of thing frequently because I journal a lot. That's my way to sort of regulate myself, reflect on what I've been experiencing, and understand it. Um, and so I have a lot of like entries where I'm like not explicitly talking to my future self, but like I'm reading them in the future. So basically, I am. Um, but I actually haven't really like sat with the actual intention of being like, this is a message that I'm leaving for myself in the future. I want myself to like see this. Um, I don't know. I hope you're happy.
Simple as pie, yeah. I get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, what is something you want to tell your past self? And that could be yesterday,
Oh my
10
God.
years from now, kid.
Yeah. This is something that I came to like the realization of like not that long ago through like reflection. No, not that long ago, a little while ago. But through journaling, it's just like growing up. I grew up in a very white area, very white, just like very white. There were like no black people, and
Mm.
I'm mixed, so I'm sorry, y'all. But I I grew up just like feeling. I don't know. I was never at like logic levels of being mixed where it was just like, oh, curse my existence for being half black, half white. No one will ever understand me. Like it wasn't like that, but like I did grow up feeling like profoundly uncomfortable in my skin, with my hair, with the way that I function in society, with the way that everybody treated me. Um, and I spent many years growing up thinking it was me, thinking there was something like deeply wrong with me. I needed to find this like method, this whatever it may be, this key to unlock like understanding how to actually function. Because I just felt as though I was not like fit for living. Because it was just like I just felt so unaligned with everything around me. Um, and it wasn't until like I got older and was able to like move out of my hometown that I realized, oh, it wasn't me. I just grew up around a bunch of fucking white people. I'm being so dead ass, which sounds like it sounds like simplifying something that would probably be more complex than it is. But like I grew up, I left and then found community with like a bunch of black people and was like, oh wow, like it wasn't
It
me. Like,
wasn't me,
it
yeah.
wasn't. It literally wasn't me. Like I'm because like not much had fundamentally changed about the way that I was acting. Just the
Mhm.
location and the people that were around me was different. Because like I didn't like I did feel as though like I wanted to change myself, but like I also didn't want to because I like myself.
Yeah.
And I like who I am, and I like the way that I think. Um, so I didn't. Thank God. I'm glad that I didn't. Uh, and then because I didn't and didn't like submit to like the sort of like environment around me and just be like, "Ah, I just gotta reinvent myself. Like I'm glad that I didn't do that because I was able to move and find community with people who are like me, and I was like, oh wow, this is like everything that I wanted. Like I feel as though I exist in the world, and the world responds to me in kind. Um, so if I had something that I could say to my younger self, is just like, you're good. It's like you're fine.
It's not you.
It's not. It's
It's the
really.
white people.
I'm being so serious, and not
Yeah.
like it sucks because like when you like get in situations where it's like it wasn't me, it was literally everyone but me. Obviously, people are gonna be like, sure,
Yeah.
but like, deadass, I'm being so serious. Like this is like several like almost a decade of like reflection on this at this point, where I'm like, yeah, no, no, it was not me. It was genuinely not me. Like it was so egregious growing up in like that sort of like I don't know, just like be feeling that you didn't belong, but like not having the words to like, or like the way, like the understanding to like sort of articulate why you felt that way, and then not having anybody that could like relate in
Yeah.
any regard. Like, like I had friends, like, growing up, I had my friends, and I would be like, yeah, I just feel so like, da-da-da. And they'd be like, yeah, like my fucking mom ground me, da-da-da-da. And I'm like,
It's not
not
the
what I'm
same
talking about.
thing.
Not what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's just not. But yeah, long-winded again. As you can tell, I tend to, yeah. But
Um, Final question is, what is something you think you need to hear right now?
oh, that's a lot. I don't know. Um, I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to do all this long.
You're good.
I don't know. I can't think of something when I'm being like when I'm trying to like pull something up, but like the first thing that comes to mind is that like that they're proud of me. Because like I grew up in a very like verbally rewarding household. Like my mom was very vocal about her affection.
Hmm.
Um, like I have a one of my favorite things that I own is this magnet that I have on my fridge. And when my mom and my younger sister and I moved away from my dad for the first time, we moved to this like we were homeless for a little bit, and then we moved into this like women's shelter, and we didn't have anything in the place. There was nothing there. And I remember I was really young. I was probably like 3, and I have like a very vivid memory of my mom sitting on the kitchen floor with me, or yeah, and she would just read from this magnet that was given to her by the people. And it's the Sussex County, where I'm from, child abuse,
Sussex
prevention.
County, where?
Sussex County, New Jersey.
Okay.
And it's
You're
like,
from Jersey. Okay.
I'm from Jersey, North Jersey. And it's like, it's just like a magnet. It's got red text on it, and it says, 101 ways to praise your child. And it just says things like, you're great, you're amazing, I love you. Like, I like, you have a great smile, like, keep it up, da 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 da. And she would just read that all up and down, over and over and over again, and I would just like laugh, and I just loved it. um and like now I'm like, now that I'm older and I have the ability to like reflect on these things with like an adult perspective, I really do believe it was like more so her just trying to do what she felt was right when and using words that she didn't have. And I'm really thankful for it, and I have it still. And I look at it frequently, and it is a very big source of like reassurance and warmth. Um, because like even though they weren't her words, I really do believe that she believed them wholeheartedly. Um, which I take that as a sort of like my understanding of how inspiration works, where it's just like even if it's not your words, even if it's not your original thought, if the intention and the feeling is behind them, they could the what comes from that can change someone's life, which it did. Like it was just her reading, little things on a magnet. I'm sure there were thousands of them made, but like it has endured my entire life and is one of my most significant memories that I hold dearest. So it doesn't take much, and you can to in order to like have a significant impact, and that's my sort of takeaway from that.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. I think that's it.